Anecdotally, can I tell you over the years that I've had a lot of clients who want to understand that borderline inside out. And what does that really mean? Well, it's an obstacle that blocks the healing and the recovery of a person who's now the ex of somebody with BPD, or on off relationship recycling with somebody with BPD. And so the more you focus on trying to become an expert on BPD and why they do what they do, the more you continue to, in a codependent way, escape, and avoid your pain, what you need to know about yourself. Because if the borderline does A, B, C, D, E, the whole alphabet, and then why, okay, to understand some of that's really helpful. And people that choose to work with me, you can learn that in that process without it being an obstacle to your recovery. The other aspect of this is that you're not going to find your recovery. You're not going to break the betrayal bond with a borderline or a narcissist for that matter if you continue to focus on them. On why did they do this? Why did they do that? Aren't all borderlines narcissists, and all not borderlines and narcissists histrionic? And aren't they all psychopathic and other things that are in cluster B that aren't even in the DSM? The clear message that I'm always trying to state, so let's make this quicker. Let's make this shorter. If it resonates with you, I'm out here to work with you. If it doesn't, well, if you just like to book some sessions to talk to me, to ask me rapid fire questions about your borderline, I can answer them all. I promise you. I can help you with that understanding. I'm not going to say that I'm going to make you an expert, because that's not the goal. Again, that obliterates your recovery and often sends people back with more fervor and more false hope and who knows what else to trying to reverse Hoover the borderline ex. And the more you reverse Hoover or get Hoovered by your ex, and the more times you relationship recycle, even when it's not somebody with really severe BPD, the greater percentage chance you increase the percentage chance, especially if you're a man, of being falsely accused of something and having the police haul you out of your house for absolutely no good reason. So you really need to stop this relationship cycling, because it's going to get you, if you're not already somebody who's had this happen to you. People have been falsely accused and charged by the police because of what their BPDX says, or on and off person. And then maybe the BPD sometimes will say, oh yeah, okay, whatever. And they'll try to make it so the charges can't stick, or it gets thrown out, it gets dropped. But you go through all this stress and anxiety, and it costs you big money. And then people go back to them. And guess what you're inviting then, especially in that situation where you've been falsely accused prior? You bet. Another split evaluation is coming. They're not re-idealizing you, and you're really going to get it next time. Because when they confabulate and lie and call the police, and they're willing to do almost anything, including punching themselves, perhaps worse, physical damage to themselves, to say that you did it. And then, so many men are getting arrested this way. So many men are having to spend thousands and thousands of dollars to try to not end up in prison unjustly. And can we say that every man succeeds and gets out of it? No, not necessarily. So you got to be really careful, because the more you go back, and if you've been falsely accused once, but maybe it didn't lead to an arrest, or they didn't really call the police, but you've been falsely accused by them, why are you still there? And people always don't know the answer to this question. But I'm here now, I think. I may say more about people with BPD, but I don't know how many people are listening here. I want to talk more about, as I have been doing for quite a while, the dynamics of these relationships and breakups, or ghostings and discards, and then what drives you. Yes, you the codependent. You may have PTSD, you may have CPTSD, but CPTSD clearly is onset in childhood, not developed from a relationship with somebody with BPD or NPD. And so codependency is the formidable reality. And many of the clients I've worked with over 34 years now, not all, but many, so a higher percentage anecdotally, I would say to you, definitely have a cluster B parent, whether they know it or not, whether they really identified it or not, whether they want to label that parent or not. You need to stop trying to become an expert in BPD so that you can stop blocking your own recovery process, because you are after understanding them so much that you just lose yourself even more. And like I said, reverse hoovering them, especially if there's been a false accusation already in the beginning, like the first part of the relationship before you were ghosted, devalued, whatever happened, devalued, split to ghosting, or kind of a discard. So whatever made your relationship off with the BPD that you so think you love that you don't even know who they are, and when they can't love you back and they don't see you and they don't hear you, these are repetition compulsion cycles, as I've talked about a lot on lots of videos and podcast episodes and stuff on this channel. So, by the way, if you want to work with me to ask your questions, to understand more, but to also work on you and how you can break these betrayal bonds, and because people are away from a borderline, sometimes out of contact with a borderline, for weeks, months, years, yes, a decade plus, but they haven't broken the betrayal bond. And so they're still thinking 5, 8 years later, they're still ruminating, they're still wondering what that borderline's doing, and is that borderline's life better than your life? You're continuing to block the recovery that you need to end the pain that you're in. And so many people have expressed to me, and many men say this with all due respect, I'm not saying anything derogatory about this. Many men express that, they have businesses, they're doing well, family doesn't understand, friends are mad at them because they can't, quote, get over this ex. And many men express to me in session after session, I don't know what to do, I can't stop thinking about it, I can't stop ruminating, and I can't even focus on my business, and I'm really getting in financial trouble, etc., etc., etc. I'm here to help you with all of that. I'm here to help you find you. I'm here to help you gain you back, help you break the betrayal bond, and help you through strategy and practicing those strategies to stop the rumination and to stop avoiding your precious self.